Good morning. A study of our grocery shopping habits has revealed we drank less tea but more champagne this year. We'll be looking at what else was on and off our shopping lists.
Steph, what's going on in business? Good morning.
There's not a massive amount of business news. I think it's getting to that point of the
year
where things are starting to slow down a bit. There's a few bits and bobs. Not great news for our biggest defence company, BAE. Good morning, everybody. Financial Times this morning has a story about BAE Systems saying they suffered a bruising setback after Britain's negotiations to supply 60 Typhoon fighter jets to the UAE has collapsed. And that, of course, puts some pressure on the company. And they say here that it's a big embarrassment for David Cameron, who has not only put the UK's trade policy at the heart of his efforts to stimulate the economy, but has made two separate trips to try to persuade the Emiratis to sign the deal with BAE. So not great news for them. Interesting, we've talked about energy companies putting up prices, but water firms here talking to Ofwat, the regulator at the moment, about what prices they will put up, because they put them up. They set them for every 5 years, and it's just showing here that Ofwat is saying to them they have to look again at their planned prices through to the end of the decade if they want to avoid being named and shamed in a new get tough regulatory regime. So not just letting them get away with putting up the prices, putting quite a lot of pressure on them to make sure that they don't put them up too much.
Hopefully good news for consumers.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Steph, see you later.
18 minutes past 6 the time now. You're watching Breakfast from BBC News. Our main stories this morning.
Thank you so much.
We're talking about shopping now. Right now, probably you're buying things like turkey, mince pie, sprouts. But across the year, what have we been buying more than other things? Steph's been looking at a list of our habits, really, isn't it, Steph?
Yeah, it is. I know for a fact you don't think about shopping, though, do you?
Food shopping, yes.
Ah, OK.
Other shopping, no.
Brilliant. Get those sprouts in. Good morning, everyone. Yes, budget shops such as Aldi and Lidl are continuing to take trade away from the big four supermarkets. And the latest study by The Grocer magazine says we've become savvier shoppers who are very keen to bag a bargain. In an analysis of our buying habits, it also revealed what is in our cupboards. And while our love affair with champagne and chocolate has continued, we've been buying a lot less tea, would you believe? Well, with me now from The Grocer is Rob Brown. Good morning to you, Rob.
Hello, Steph.
We're not replacing tea with champagne, I hope, are we?
No, we're certainly not, although we probably are drinking more coffee in place of the tea. That seems to be going cold at the moment.
And in your research, what were the surprising things that came out in terms of what we're buying more and less of?
Well, it's probably no surprise that we're buying less processed meat products at the moment, given what went on earlier in the year. But I think the big surprise for me was a volume decline in nappy sales, given that we're in the midst of a baby boom. That was pretty surprising.
So we're not buying as many nappies? Why is that?
Well, the thing is, as you said, we're becoming savvier shoppers and we're shopping around more. I think what's going on here is that parents are realising that they can buy nappies in bulk from retailers like Amazon, and as a result, they're buying less from the supermarkets.
Right, so they're not buying so much from the supermarkets, but they are buying probably more of them elsewhere.
I think so.
And you mentioned about processed meat, because of course the horse meat scandal, that's what you're referring to there. Has that made a big difference then? It's
made a huge difference, yeah. I mean, the frozen ready meals market has declined by about 8% in volume over the past year. I think it's made consumers think more about the true cost of cheap meat. And as a result, some players are actually doing quite well out of it, more premium brands that can demonstrate that they've taken care of their animals and they actually know what animals are going into their products.
And we mentioned champagne, but interesting, champagne's gone up, but alcohol sales overall have fallen in the supermarkets.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Are we going back to the pubs again, or?
I think any landlord will say that's probably not the case. It's been a year of, apart from the horse in grocery, it's also been a year of cheap fizz and chocolate. The cheap fizz, you get own label supermarket offers now, which has brought the price of a bottle of champagne down a lot, which means a lot of people are buying less Prosecco and Cava and spending a couple of quid more on a bottle of own label champagne. Yeah, volume sales are up about 6%.
OK, well, thank you very much for going through that for us all, Rob. And that's it for me for now. There you go.
Just so you know, Steph, when you do give Charlie his Christmas present, it's got to be the good stuff.
It's got to be the good, of course.
Only the good stuff, only
Look
the
at
top
him.
quality stuff.
He just screams good stuff, doesn't
I'll
he?
be happy with a small tin of chickpeas. That'll do me. I'm a
You
man
are
of
so
simple
bizarre
taste.
sometimes, Charlie. That's why we love you.
6:53 the time now. Would you like to see a picture of a very cute hedgehog?
Or a real-life hedgehog. We're just getting some news in from Ofgem, the energy regulator, and it's taking a look at npower. Steph, you're looking, is there something about doorstep selling?
Yes, so this is npower. It will pay £3.5 million to what they call vulnerable customers after an investigation by Ofgem to do with how they sold their products for 2 years between 2010 and 2012, and it was for doorstep selling and also over the phone sales, which they say breached some of the rules. So what npower is saying this morning is that they will write to all customers who may have been affected by this to outline the measures it will be taking. So we're just trying to find out at the moment how that money will basically get back to the vulnerable customers, whether it will be in the form of compensation or whether it will be different deals for people who were perhaps struggling with their energy bills. But it looks like it was an issue which npower say they have resolved now, but it was part of an investigation Ofgem have been doing into the energy industry and in particularly npower.
So customers should just wait to expect these letters to pop through if they think they've been victims of mis-selling, basically. Yes. OK. Steph, thanks very much. I know you're going to look into it for us. Thanks.
Time of year, of course, isn't it? When everyone's doing that big Christmas supermarket shop. But which supermarket will you be going to? Will it be Morrison's, the UK's 4th biggest supermarket? Steph's got some more now because you have the boss with you.
Yes, we certainly do. Morrison's is about to launch its online service behind the other 4, but today an important day for them. Morrison's has seen sales fall over recent months, but it's hoping to turn that around with the long-awaited launch of its online shopping service. Now, just to give you some figures on what the market's worth, overall, the grocery market is currently valued at almost £170 billion, and online sales make up just a small part of this at 6.5 million, but internet sales are expected to more than double over the next 5 years, so it's a key target area, 6.5 billion, that figure there. Well, with me now is Dalton Phillips, the boss of Morrison's. Good morning to you, Dalton. So, it's been a long time in the coming, this website. Tell us why it's taken so long.
Well, we've had a lot of other things going on, but we've been working on it for the last 2 years, and today we've opened the website, so we're ready to trade. First deliveries in January. Excited to be in this new channel, as you said. It's growing very quickly, and customers today, what used to be a more affluent type shop, today customers right across the spectrum are having to shop online. They may not be able to afford a car. They may not be able to afford the taxi home from the supermarket, so shopping online, it's key for them.
How important is it to your business? Because you've said in the past that you think part of the reason why your sales have fallen is because you don't have an online shopping presence.
Very important, because customers today shop differently. They go to the big shop, maybe coming up to Christmas now, they'll need to go to the big shop, they want the selection, but they might be really time pressed, 2 jobs, shop online, shopping convenience. And these are channels that are growing very quickly. And Morrison's hasn't been in convenience stores, it hasn't been in online. So it's very important for us today.
Are you not worried you've missed the boat though?
Well, the trick is, if you're going to be late, is to come out with something that's really great. And we've taken an opportunity to scour the world, look at things differently. Customers have real concerns shopping online around the freshness of the food they're getting, and particularly around substitutions, where they order one thing, they get something else. So we've had a lot of time to look at those issues and see how can we make sure we're on top of them.
It's still not quite there yet, though, is it? Because even though you can look at it today, you won't get the deliveries until January, and you're only doing it in the Midlands at the moment.
Well, 3 million households get access to it from today. So it is the Midlands, but it's Birmingham, the 2nd largest city in the UK. And we'll be rolling out 1 million households a month through the year. So half the UK by the end of next year. So it's a good pace. And we opened it today because we're slightly ahead of schedule. So people can browse over the Christmas period. First delivery is 10th of January.
It does feel like it's taken ages, though.
It's taken a long time. I wish we'd got there earlier, I really do. But we are where we are. We've got it today, and we've got something that's really different. So you could have your meat cut a specific way, your fish filleted in a specific way. These are attributes you can't do anywhere else in the UK. So we've got something that's really special.
It's interesting looking at the supermarket sector as a whole, because we've seen the likes of Aldi and Lidl really start to power through now and take some of the market share off some of the big 4 like yourself. Are you worried about them?
Well, the discount phenomena is one that they're coming from quite a small base. They're still only about 7% of the market in the UK. Obviously, in Europe, you see it as a slightly higher participation of the discounters. But it's there, and we need to deal with it. But supermarkets in general offer something that discounters don't. I mean, a typical Morrison's would have 20 times the range of a discounter. And if you're going into Christmas, you want that range, and obviously you want the fresh food, provenance, quality that you get from a large store.
So you're not worried about them?
Well, you worry about everybody, and we're fighting for every customer out there, and they have a strong proposition. But as a supermarket, we do things very differently. We're not a discounter. We're proud to not be a discounter. We've got discount prices, but we offer so much more. But it's a growing trend.
And looking at the next year ahead, I mean, we've seen things start to pick up in the economy now. Have you seen a change in the way people are shopping in supermarkets in terms of what they're buying and what they're not?
People are terribly cash strapped, and we see all these indicators out there, and unemployment coming down, and mortgage rates, you know, going up, etc. But the truth is, our customers today have less money in their pocket than they did a year ago. And there's a sense that, yes, the economy's getting better. And if you look at the consumer trends, they say, yes, we see the economy's getting better. But me, no, I've got less money in my pocket for this Christmas. People are really having to make compromises over what they buy this Christmas. It's tough out there.
OK, Dalton, well, thank you very much for coming in to explain all that to us. That's it for me for now.
Thanks, Steph. See you soon.
Good morning. npower has agreed to pay £3.5 million to vulnerable customers after it was found to have breached energy sales rules on the doorstep and over the phone.
Now, the last hour, npower has agreed to pay £3.5 million to vulnerable customers following an investigation by the energy regulator Ofgem. Steph's with us now. Is this mis-selling? Is that what this is?
It's breaching sales rules, so it's not necessarily mis-selling in the sense of someone was sold a product they shouldn't have been, but what they're saying is that when perhaps customers were deciding whether to switch suppliers or not, they were given information which was perhaps not transparent enough for them to be able to compare it easily. So what Ofgem are saying today is that they've breached sales rules between 2010 and 2012, so for 2 years, and it's particularly over the phone and doorstep sales which they were doing. And they say so £3.5 million will be paid out to vulnerable customers. Now, the way they're doing this is they're going to credit £25 at least to people on the warm home discount scheme. So they will see a £25 credit to their account, or if they have a prepayment meter, they'll get a £25 top up for that. So it's not necessarily going to those who are affected, but what they've agreed with Ofgem is that they will give money to vulnerable customers as a way of apology for the problems that they had with their sales between that time.
That's the £3.5 million?
Yes.
Fine. OK. Thanks very much, Steph. Thank you.
Other stories now. Adverts from payday loan companies should be banned from being shown during children's TV programmes, according to a group of MPs.